sends me to the peak. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love. A melody where I belong in this life.
Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hat Show. Obviously, episode 67. Just before we start, shout out my dad, shout out my aunties, shout out my nan. Obviously, like I said, on the Liverpool stream, got 2 of the new Luton shirts. Here we go. Yeah, when I first saw this kit, I weren't really a massive fan, as you lot know. But I don't know, the more I see the players on it, the more it gels, you know, and it is actually a sick kit. I'm not going to lie. But like always, I'm here with my dad, and yeah, we're back again. How are you, Dad?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. But yeah, obviously we're back again with a midweek fixture as well. Obviously we didn't have one last week, so yeah, obviously we'll get into that. But I'm gonna go through the comments first. Hanno, you certainly do have egg in your face, mate. You know, you got a lot of Luton fans coming at him, not me, obviously. But he was saying he don't rate Doherty. Bosh, Doherty gets team of the week just like that. And he also says, big up everyone. Glad the vlogs are getting so much views. Yeah, big up everyone that watched the Sunderland vlog. Even the Sunderland fans, of course. Like I said, the ones I spoke to before the game, sound people. And yeah, man, even one commented on the blog saying 2 good sides going at it. And obviously we'll get into it, but it was really. Big up Blue Terrier says, big up Tyler, how are you doing? I'm good, thanks, mate. What about yourself? Big up Stephen, he says, big up Ty, and he says, big up Daz as well. Big up yourself, mate. What can we expect out of Sunderland on Wednesday? Well, we'll get into that. So obviously we played 3 p.m. at home on Saturday, and that was obviously Sunderland. You know, obviously they come back up. One of the newly promoted sides, obviously ended up winning the playoffs last season against Wickham. Going into it, you know, I had a feeling it was going to be, you know, a tight affair. Dad, you thought this was the game where we could have potentially, it could have been similar to like a Coventry, for example, last year.
Yeah, obviously not to be, but, you know, it's what it is.
It's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen at some point. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously the lineup was obviously Ethan in goal. It was Bree, Lockyer, Potts, and then obviously Doherty was on the right side of the wing backs. A lot of people was thinking maybe it was him on the left and Bell as the left centre back. I thought that myself, but you know, obviously at the game it was how it says on here. Flash scores have actually pretty much got it right, except they're saying Campbell's playing right wing. But obviously we know the midfield was Lansbury, Campbell, and obviously Clark ahead. And then up top, it was Adebayo and Morris. A lot of people thought this could have potentially been where Cornick maybe would have started this one instead of Elijah. Obviously, we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast now. So, yeah, everyone thought that. But what did you make when you saw the lineup?
Yeah, like I thought, you know, we weren't too sure we still had this illness or was recovering from it. And so Barry was a little, he had it the worst. Apparently, that's why he didn't come on. Yeah, again, I thought that the same thing as you. And then I looked again, and then on one before I watched the game, it said he was on the left ahead of Bell. And then it wasn't. He was in basically playing in Bree's position on the other side, and Bree was in the defence, which ain't too bad, you know, because he actually done pretty well there. You know, the midfield with Lansbury was back. That's good to see, and it's expected. Other than that, it was pretty much expected, and you know, we've got to change it around at the back because you know we're missing 2 central defenders basically, you know, and Bradley's not really on form at the moment, so you know, but and it's good to see Ruddock back on the bench again, Berry on the bench, even though, like we weren't on the bench. Was he on the bench?
Yeah, Berry was on the bench, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't, he weren't going to come on, do you know what I mean? Like, unless we were desperate. Ruddock still needs to be match fit, but, the only way to do that is keep playing him for spells. So, yeah, no, it was a decent lineup. Again, good enough to get a result. We've got a couple of players out still, but once they get back to full fitness, then we'll be all right. But Lansbury got injured as well.
Yeah. Which is not obviously good, especially with how he's been, like I said on the vlog. Obviously Morris, I think his was a bit of a precaution. But obviously he went. I think he was gonna maybe. Well, I don't know if he would have definitely got taken off. Him or Elijah obviously would have anyway. Well, they both probably would have at some point, because obviously we do change the front two around a lot of times this season in the second half. You see Jerome come on a lot as well. But yeah, I don't think that's nowhere near as bad as what Land. Well, I just think Morris might be all right, whereas Lansbury, I'm not sure. It might be a few games. It might be more. We have to wait and see. I don't know if Nathan Jones has had his.
Yeah, Lansbury won't be playing, mate. He won't be playing for the next 3 games, I reckon. That is what it is. So we've got to accommodate for that, and that's the tricky thing, really. Like, because who are you going to put there? I've got a feeling that Barry might well come in.
If he's ready this time, I definitely agree with that. Maybe even Ruddock. Like we've said that before. Before we went live on here, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. But yeah, obviously the first half, it was a very, very good first half, considering it was 0-0 for most of it. Obviously, I would say it's pretty equal in the first half. I think both teams had some really good chances. Obviously, Sunderland hit the post twice. Ethan made some really good saves. Yet again, by the way, Luton had a few good chances. I thought it was very end-to-end, and it was, like that Sunderland fan said on my vlog, 2 good sides going at it. And that's literally what it was in that first half. Obviously, we did get the goal in the 45th plus second minute. Now, obviously, I did say on the vlog, if that was going into 0-0 at half-time, I would have been like, how the hell was that happening then? So, like I said, the amount of, chances both sides had. Obviously, Luton's goal, Doherty, like we said, obviously had a very good performance, that much of a good performance that he got in Team of the Week. So big up to him for that. But obviously, he played a brilliant ball in to Morris. And, we know what Morris is like, especially this season when he's been in the box. And it was another one of them. I thought, like most Luton fans would have, very good time to score right before half time. And, wicked finish, wasn't it? And cross.
Yeah, it's a clever finish. That's what I mean. He's got that ability. He's not fumbling around. Do you know what I mean? He's quick with his strikes and that. He's a clever player, Morris, as well. Comfortable. Good crossing. Probably should have scored before that. There was something happened in the box before that, but I think one of their players kind of threw himself to the floor or something. You ain't getting away with that crap. We deserved to be ahead at half time. I felt we edged it. We definitely deserved to be ahead at half time. Sorry, I'll just turn that down.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, no, I definitely felt, like I said, if there weren't a goal from any side in that first half, I'd have been very, very surprised given the amount of chances. And, obviously we will get into player ratings, but massive shout out to Ethan in that first half. Like I say, he made some really good saves.
Yeah, exactly.
He gave us, obviously Morris and Doherty played well on the goal, but, massive shout out to Ethan as well for, not conceding in that first half, because like I said, it was a little bit easy for them to get him behind at times, and he was getting frustrated. I saw it, so credit to him. But going into the second half, obviously You know, like my dad said, you saw players like Ruddock come on, Bradley come on, Cornick come on. You know, obviously for Morris, which, like I say, looks precaution to me. Lansbury one looks a lot more, you know, worrying for me compared. But yeah, obviously it made a lot of changes. A lot of people, you know, had a lot of question marks over the changes. You know, a lot of people saying, you know, Nathan Jones got it wrong again. It's difficult. It's difficult for me because, you know, especially like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. What did you make of it? I saw a lot of people saying about it.
Yeah, but the changes he made were the best available. So
that's what I was thinking. You know, yeah, exactly.
I did feel like, you know, that we were going to lose the momentum because Bradley's not in form. Ruddock's still coming back. You know, Jerome come on for 5 minutes at the end, and you know, I think so about that really. And Freeman,
excuse me,
it just doesn't work. It doesn't connect properly. But that was the best we had, really. You know, like we know why Berry didn't come on. So it is what it is. We can't really be blaming Nathan Jones out. Right? If we had Osho, maybe he would have come into the midfield because he can play like CDM as well.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good at it. You know. So that's all we could do really. Woodrow's still injured. Cornick, but you know he didn't affect this game much. But you know, what can you do? That's the best change we can make. But I did have a feeling that it's not that they, you know, there's that, and I think we lost momentum, and I just felt that they were going to get the equaliser. And eventually they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, it could have went either way towards the end still, but it is what it is. Right? You know, you can't really. We should have put Berry on. You know.
And then you found out the reasoning, and you can't argue with it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So it is what it is. Part of me is thinking, you know, certain players that, you know, like Mendes Gomez, mate, going out on loan because that guy's smashing it at the moment, which is good regardless. You know what I
mean? Yeah, 100%.
I feel like, you know, who else wasn't on the bench? Fred?
Yeah, Fred wasn't. Because I remember you asked me before the game, is he on the bench? And I said to you, no, he's not.
He might be a bit ill as well, or may have been ill, you know what I'm saying? But that's the options we had, so it is what it is, isn't it? Main thing is we you know, it wasn't up there. It was more of a cautious kind of performance. Sunderland are doing well. They brought on decent players as well.
Exactly.
Patrick Roberts is as soon as I was like, because we played Norwich in a friendly, and he originally come from Man City, and he went on loan there, and I don't know if he's on loan now or he's signed for him permanently. I presume he's on loan, but he tore us ragged. And in this game, you know, because he's quality player, he is. And that striker who come on as well, that guy, big lump, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, he's going to be featuring a lot for him now because he's going through it, you know. And Mowbray's interview was a bit, you know, that guy is such a dinosaur, you know.
It was funny when I saw that guy rattled. I'm not going to lie.
He refuses to give us any credit. Do you know what I mean? It's just hate managers like that.
Same old, isn't it?
I mean, give your opposition.
Yeah, I think the only one that has, I don't really look at opposition manager interviews, but I think the only one that has is Company.
But he come up and he, you know, just making excuses, and then eventually, yeah, we should be beating teams like Luton, you know, the old adage. Bullshit.
Bro, you literally just got promoted.
I know, exactly. Yeah, they've got you know, a big club.
Yeah, I like him and that, you know, but
where you're at, it's not where you're from.
We're ahead of that.
Where you're at, and where they're at is it's going to be a tough game against Luton, and it was, and shouldn't.
People just think because they're a big club, they should instantly be up there fighting for players. That's what people think, and it's just stupid. It's just honestly stupid to think that.
But other than that, thought it was quite an evenly matched game. Again, they've got dangerous, but the thing is, being a club of stature, they can attract them better, certain players, and that's it. But eventually, we're not far off that anyway. I mean, we've already started doing it. A few years ago, all right. Lansby wouldn't have signed for us. Jerome, you can say, he's older, but he wouldn't have signed. Certain players we've got wouldn't have signed. Doughty wouldn't have signed for us. It went somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? So, compared to when we had Graham Jones in charge and he was telling us that if Izzy Brown gets injured, we're going to get relegated. I mean, come on, like,
And do you know what makes me laugh about that? I always say that to you. He said that, right? One, the obvious, football's a team sport. And two, we've got James Bree. And look at he signed James Bree. Look what James Bree's doing now.
He did, yeah. But, that's probably, everyone else I think he signed is gone. So,
yeah.
That's just down to him.
Like we said, that guy in the football manager, he's a good coach, obviously, because he's been around. But
But as a manager, no, he was just not on it. He just had the wrong attitude for Luton.
Terrible mentality. That's what he had.
I don't know. Like it was just like he couldn't push anything. Or like he just thought them group of players weren't. Maybe they're not like exceptional championship quality. Some of them, but a lot of them should be. They are championship players because they've earned that right. But that's under a better money, a better team, a better coaching, whatever,
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But obviously, talk a bit about their goal. Obviously, it was a good finish. Again, it's another goal for me where it's difficult for Ethan to stop it because it's a really good finish right into, the corner. And yeah, like you said, the amount of, not even the chances, just the way they kept going forward. I felt being there that something was going to happen from their end. And yeah, I'm sure you was the same when you was watching it, where you said you was. So yeah, that's that on that. But overall, take the point and move. That's how I see it. They are a decent team. Obviously, with if you're basing it on a project, we are ahead of them, of course, but still a very good team. They're still a very good team, and they've done. Most of the considering they lost, their manager as well. Obviously, he went to Stoke. They're still doing all right. So, usually teams just proper drop off. That's that. And also, I wanted to say, I said it on the vlog, but obviously, big up to Nathan Jones. That was his 300th game in charge as a Luton manager, of course. So yeah, big up to him, man. And hopefully, it's been a lot of memories. Hopefully, a lot more to come. Maybe even this season. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's go through some comments and then we'll go on to player ratings. Stephen reckons Pelly will start tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. We'll get into that. Big up Alex. He says, evening lads, how are you? Darren and T. With good thanks, mate. What about yourself? A point is a fair result. Yeah, exactly. Ethan, man and match contender. Definitely. We'll get into that on player ratings as well. Big up Shay says, hey T, big up yourself. Do you reckon this could happen, Dad? Potentially. Maybe Cameron Jerome. Not Cameron Jerome. Mendes Gomez, sorry, called up. Called in January. Oh, why I said Jerome.
Only if we get some serious injuries. Other than that, I think Nathan Jones would be quite happy to let him go there, enjoy his football and keep doing what he's doing because he will come back a better player. Do you know what I mean? Because initially I think he was in League Two.
Yes.
And we signed him, and he struggled. He's admitted he struggled with the Championship to a certain degree, but you can see he's got ability. And it's just a league below. Do you know what I mean? I'd keep him there unless we had any serious injuries and let him have the season and definitely take him back. He'll be like a new signing if he, do you know what I mean? And we know what he's capable of. I felt that it was the strength and which he needs to build up a little bit. Adebayo was a bit like that initially. Who else was like that? Some Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell was like that. That's mad to say, but he was.
Yeah. But then, yeah. So, yeah. If it happens, it happens. That's good. But I can only see it if we get injuries or whatever. Because the problem is as well is he's like a left winger or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure. I think they're playing him in a midfield three though, from what I've seen.
Yeah, it does look like that to me as well.
So, that's quite interesting. I mean, if he can do that and ends up sort of setting in that position, he's got that pace as well, and he's got good ability.
Yeah, of course.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Stephen also says 1 on loan from City, 1 on loan from Everton. Yeah, exactly. Obviously about Sunderland there. Alex says going Oxford game tomorrow. Can't get to Luton. Going to be able to see Cameron. I keep saying Cameron Jerome. Carlos Mendes Gomez for Fleetwood. Yeah, that'd be good. Let me know how he does. I'll probably keep my eye out on that game, to be fair. Well, all our players that are out on loan, I usually check them anyway, see how they're doing. But yeah, I'll definitely check that now. Now, remembering that, teams like Luton, we should have that on back of shirts. Yeah, we actually should. Instead of the, what's it now? The Tory or whatever it is. Yeah, they should do that instead. Do you know what I mean?
I might get it on the back of a Luton shirt, a little hashtag.
Yeah, you should. You should. Yeah, that'd be class. Yeah, or you should get it where you put the shirt up in the background. Oh, dear. Yeah, definitely, 100% about that. I agree with that. Flipping hell, at least he takes his chances. But anyway, let's say about that. Moving on to the player ratings for the Sunderland game. Starting off with Ethan, of course, goalkeeper. Like I said, massive credit to him in the first half. Obviously, helped us go into the lead with the saves he'd done. The goal, like I said, couldn't have done anything. See, he was getting frustrated, like I said, because how easy they were breaking in behind us at times. Ethan, I'm gonna give a 7.
Yeah. I'll give him a slightly higher 7.5. I just felt like he's starting to look like he can rely on them a bit more. He's very good at getting down low to them shots near the post. Yeah, they hit the post. So did we. A couple of times he was very close as well. But he's looking decent, and it was a good performance from him, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
7.5.
Yeah, no, definitely. Moving on. Wait, let me go through your ratings. Actually, Alex has gone 8. Claimed everything and kept us in the game. Definitely in that first half, 100%. Like I said. And then Stephen's gone 7.7. That's fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Bree. Obviously, like we said, he was playing the right centre back, which if it's out of Bree or Bell, I would rather Bree be the centre, the right-sided centre back or the centre back in that sense, because obviously Bell don't play on the right. Because I don't know, I just feel Bell. I don't know. Bree still obviously goes forward and tries to make things happen, but I just feel with Bell, he's more trying to attack, and do that sort of thing. And it's just, he looks a lot more comfortable there. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Bree, obviously I'd rather he play wing back, but when he's there, I don't know. He's just, I don't know. His sound when he's there, I'm not as phased in that sense. I'm not sure if you're the same on that, Dad.
Well, I think Bell, I know what you mean. Yeah, Bell's he's better at going forward, to say it right. He's got better close control and getting around players and taking that chance, and he's more effective. Do you know what I mean? His job is not to sit at the back and defend, really. Do you know what I mean? Track back and but whereas Bree's more custom, he's obviously he's probably played in that centre back role previously, and it's easier for him to slot in there if we got the injury. Otherwise Burke would have been there. or Lockyer would have played there. Do you know what I mean? And he'd have been in the middle or whatever. Osho or what, you know. But says what it is. But yeah, like I don't mind him starting there. We haven't done bad with him in that position, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and he can play the ball out better than some of the other, you know, better than Bradley anyway, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Did I give him a rating? I don't even know. Did I give him a rating? No, I don't think I did. My rating for Bree, I'll go with another 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, from what I've just said as well.
Yeah.
You know, at 7. I felt on the when they equalised, it reminded me a little bit of the Watford game where he was just diving, you know, just diving in a little bit too late, kind of thing. But you know, what can I say? 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Alex gone 6.5 and Stephen's gone 7.5. Fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll move on to Lockyer. You know, again, you know, I don't think it was too bad from him. You know, obviously for me, it's not been the levels it has been in previous games. Like it's not up there for a man and match shout for me compared to, you know, other games where he's either gotten it or been up there. But it weren't bad. It weren't bad. I'm going to go with another 7.
Yeah, I think he was slightly better than that. He won a few headers and that. I think, you know, he was quite solid. It was a reshuffled back four as well. Do you know what I mean? I thought he done all right. I'll give him a 7.5.
Fair enough.
Alex
has said
played, you can't really be dropping him. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely not. Alex has said 8.9, solid again. So he agrees with you there, definitely. And then Steve says Lockyer way better than Sunday. Yeah, a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, moving on to the next player, we'll go on to Potts, who's obviously playing on the left centre back, where of course he has been playing. You know, most of the season when he has played, of course. And yeah, I thought it was pretty good by him again. You know, trying to play them long balls that he can. You know, again, that's his position. You know, he's got his mark on it. Obviously, we all know why he didn't play against, you know, them lot. But yeah, you know, I think it was decent from Potts. I'm gonna go over 7 point. I'm gonna go over 7 again.
Yeah, I'll go over 7. Obviously, but you know, it weren't exceptional. I think he got caught out a little bit, maybe at one point when they nearly scored the first. But you know, we know where we are with Potts. Do you know what I mean? We know like he's probably at his ceiling, and like sometimes he's going to get done for pace or whatever, or trickery, because he's not quite that, you know, kind of higher level championship player. But you know, still done all right. We do it all right when he's a captain. Do you know what I mean? The team seems to do pretty well most of the time. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Big up Spencer. He says, hey, T, Dazzy, Stephen, and obviously everyone else. Alex says, couldn't have been worse than Sunday. Yeah, facts. Potts, when captain, just solid. 7.3. Yeah, I like him when he's captain. Like we just mentioned there, he's very good, especially this season when he's been in charge of games. You know, ones that just stand out for me is Swansea away. You know, I thought he was brilliant. Now, obviously, a lot of people questioning him starting and someone else, but I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been. I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but obviously, we all know how he turned out doing in that game. Alex says Potts brilliant again. Shane was ill for Watford. Potts 8.4. Fair enough. When I hear Lockyer name, I think he's bad, but he isn't. Says Hanno. No, he isn't, mate. He isn't. Hanno says Potts long-term captain. It's difficult. He's definitely up there to be one, but I just don't think it'll be long term because he is getting on quite a bit as well, isn't he? At the same time,
no, I don't think he's as old as the other, you know, some of the players, but I just think that he's just not. for him to be the captain, then he's going to have to be playing, isn't he? And I just don't going forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant as well. Going forward, yeah.
It's a tough one, because Naismith was playing there last season. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden we're like, now Potts is good enough. Well, weren't he good enough last season? You know what I mean? I know Naismith was very good, so I just think we'll be looking to get someone a little bit better. Simple as that. So I can't see it, and I think that'll happen in the summer possibly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we do try to keep hold of some of the regulars, that have been with us. But they'll go at some point. Look at Collins. Look at Hilton. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't stand on sentiment sometimes, but he's probably still got possibly another season. He's a very good backup player, isn't he? But
he's shown it, because I always mention, I thought his last game was Middlesbrough last season.
Yeah, and last season he didn't really play that much, did he? He was like,
no. It's just he got a chance to return, and he just was all over the place. But then he played a game, can't remember who it was, and he was really good. And then obviously that's where he's had his moments since. Mm-hmm. And that's where he's earned that position in that place. So credit to him. And again, he's another one of them players which, I give these credits to players like him and Isted. They could have easily went somewhere else, because it's difficult for them to get an opportunity, and they're still here. They're still here, willing to help the team when they're called upon, and big up to them for that. So yeah. That's that. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Doherty. Obviously, he did get in team of the week, like I said. Big up to him for that. And very, very good in that position. Very good in that position. Obviously, got an assist. A lot of people's man of the match. I think in the stadium, if I'm correct, they gave it to Lockyer. But yeah, I'm probably going to go Doherty, my man of the match, to be quite honest with you. Very, very impressed with him. So yeah, as for that, I'm going to give him. I'm going to go. I'll go over 8.5.
Yeah, so 8.5 just edges it. Because his performance was much better. You're going to see what he's about, actually. Like, you can already see that we've already seen the ability anyway, but he's affecting games, where you want him to be effective. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, hit the post, it was a great, confident cross on his weaker foot. And his all-round performance, and he was always looking to get on the ball. Showed a lot of trickery. And it was a very, very good performance, considering as well that he's only just come into the side in the last couple of games. We saw him against West Ham in a friendly, and he looked his first touch, and that was exceptional. So yeah, and playing in that position as well, he done really well. So yeah, 8.5.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Alex says how Doherty didn't get man of the match. I don't know. Doherty 9. Yeah, fair enough, mate. And yeah, I'm the same. I was a little bit surprised to give it to Lockyer again. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but I just think previous performances from him, he was more of a standout in that sense. And I just think with how Doherty was compared to, obviously no one was really great against Watford, obviously, but how he was there, and Norwich obviously is very good as well. I just felt, he did deserve it, because he weren't playing where he was before as well. You know what I mean? And he was that good there. So yeah, that's why I agree with you there. Stephen says Doherty, skill, quick, and a great performance. Pips Clark to man of the match, 8.5. So you agree with the rating, and he was very good on the ball as well, 100%. Especially on that goal as well. I think he done a skill, didn't he, before he crossed it in, if I'm correct?
Yeah, trickery. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man of the match for us. Moving on to the other wing back, which is obviously Bell. Like I said, that is where I like to see this guy play. That is his main position. Obviously, we know what he can try and do when he's there. And I don't think it was too bad from him. Yet again. I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him much higher ratings than that, right? I'll give him.
I was thinking that.
No, he back in his normal position. Yeah, he just run this. He's confident with him on that side now. He likes to cut inside, dribble around players. Always looking to get across in. He done well. Him and Ruddock. It was a combination of both of them. Done a really good block later on. He's definitely he's got great energy. And he's just a starter for me, and he's just getting better and better. Like, he started off a bit slow for us, but you know what I mean. But like when we first signed him, but now he's just a start. He's just such a good player, and I just thought he was involved in quite a lot. And yeah, I'm giving him an 8, mate.
Fair enough. Bell, he owns that left wing back position, 7.7. No, absolutely, Stephen, mate, absolutely. Fair enough on the rating. Moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Lansbury. Obviously, it is sort of difficult because he did have to come off. Obviously, I wanted to see him. I believe both did, but obviously, I wanted to see him back in this game. Obviously, the injury, hopefully it's nothing really bad, but I do think it will be a few games. I agree with you, Dad. I think it, might be 3. And if that is the case, then that means he'll be back after the World Cup, if I'm correct. Because, yeah, it is. It will be, in fact. It will be. So, yeah, that's gutting, especially with how he's been this season. But, yeah, I don't think he was too bad up until the injury, he was getting on the ball. He was trying to play them long balls. I'm gonna go with 6.5. Not that it was bad. It was just the injury. It's what's made it worse.
I thought he was all right. Like, he was getting stuck in, tackles. Hungry, like playing how he has been playing. It was just unfortunate. Other than that, I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough.
We are actually going to miss it. This time last season, I mean, but this now we are going to miss him. Trust me.
Yeah, 100%. For me, he's been the best.
Yeah.
Am I a bit mad saying this? Nah, I'm not. He's been the best midfielder for me this season. Just with the, I don't want to say step up because we know he's got that quality, but just compared to how he was last year, I just think, stuff he's done in games. What game was it that basically started this off for him? It was Coventry at home, wasn't it? Where he came on and he got stuck in and he showed that, grit and determination. Obviously, he got that yellow card, which was bullcrap. But ever since then, wasn't it? He just started to, play as, get a regular, name on the team sheet most of the time. So, yeah, it is going to be going 100%. Excuse me. But, yeah, moving on to the next player. We'll go over to Campbell. Again, thought it was a good performance from him. Got stuck in, done the usual. For Campbell, I'm going to go. I'm going to up just quickly. I'm going to up Ethan's rating to 7.5, and then Campbell's I'm going to go 7.5 as well.
Yeah, I'll go with 7.5. Well, his best game, but he was still there. He's still getting stuck in. You want to see him on the pitch. Let's be honest. And I just think Lansbury going off affected him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because he's in 2 minds while I could defend. While he's defending, then he can't get forward. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a tricky one there. Yeah, I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Just me trying to sort something out with this. There we go. But yeah, moving on to the next player, which obviously midfield higher up. And Stephen says he kicks who he wants. Yeah, so obviously Clark, next player. Again, he was very good yet again. you know, doing what he does when he is good, which is obviously bringing the ball down, you know, moving forward, trying to make things happen. You know, Stephen said he was close to getting man of the match from him, and I definitely think he's a player that's up there for man of the match in that game. So yeah, really good performance from Clark. Actually, I'm going to go over 8 for Clark.
Really, no, but I'm going to go for a 7.5. I don't, you know, again, I think he was again affected by Lansbury coming off. Because you know, them Freeman's on the ball a lot, and he needs to start releasing the ball and stop trying to do everything. And I think it just affected. Yeah, it was neat and tidy, but for me, it didn't really like affect the game as much as he could do. And this is probably he's a small, tricky player, but we need them other players in there to allow him to make them runs and things like that. So I'm just going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Clark looks impressive. Just missed out on man of the match, Stephen. 8.3, fair enough. Moving on to the front two, which was obviously Elijah and Morris. We'll start off with Morris. Obviously scored the goal, right place, right time yet again. Big up to him for that. You know, he had a few chances before as well, and yeah, he was causing threat yet again, as we know. So Morris, I'm gonna go with another 8.
Yeah. Who did I give man of the match?
Doherty, same as us, same as me. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. You know, but that's what we're expecting from him now. Do you know what I'm saying? So if he misses a chance like that, then you'll be annoyed, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's definitely a threat. I'm glad we've got him. I find it. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, my legs hurting again. It's a curse. It's every time I do the hat show. But yeah, Stephen says Morris, that is what he's paid to do. Yeah, literally, you could say that. 7.9. Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to the other striker started, which is obviously Elijah. I felt he was unlucky again, really.
I do, yeah. I felt he worked really hard.
Yeah.
He did. I think he got a little bit frustrated because he kept getting, you know, down and out. But he worked really hard. That's what I think. I thought he'd done all right.
Yeah. No, I agree. As for a rating, I'm going to give him 7.5.
Yeah, so 7.5.
There you go. Is there anything else you wanted to say on that?
No, like just saying, the effort was there. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. He's not like, you can see he still wanted it. He did find it quite difficult in this game, but the effort was there. Do you know what I mean? And on another day, he might have got a goal. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Stephen says Adebayo held the ball up well. Hard worker, 7.9. Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to the substitutions. We'll do this one as well. You can do it separate still, but might as well say them both at the same time. So they come on at the same time. That was obviously Ruddock and Cornick. Both come on in the 71st minute. Ruddock, I don't think he was that bad. A lot of people were like, saying all this madness when he come on. I don't think he was that bad. I really don't. It's like when he come on at another home game that I went to. I can't remember who that was, but he come on in that and played some really good passes. Like they were Lansbury sort of passes, and I know Ruddock's got it in him, but he done it he didn't just do it once. He done it a good few times. I thought he got stuck in. That block he done was phenomenal. Him and Bell, credit to Bell for that as well, because Bell was there. I actually thought he was pretty good when he come on, So as for Ruddock, I'm going to go with for that block, I'm going to go with a 7.
I'll give him slightly higher. Like, he come on, but he come on to nullify them. and basically like to get in there, get stuck in. You know, that was what he was told to do. He's not 100% match fit, so he ain't gonna be swinging passes around here, bursting forward, etc. But what he was told to do, or it seemed like he was told to do, he done well, and he done an overhead kick clearance as well, which meant like. I thought he done really well for what he come on and told. You can see he's got the passion. And
Definitely fighting for that first place now, and he's got.
I think he's looking really, really hungry, and maybe this will be the opportunity that he will get into the team. I'll give him a 7.5.
Fair enough. I was thinking that. Steven says, Pelly just for block 7.7. Yeah, it was a brilliant block. Honestly, as soon as it went past Bradley, I was like, oh my, no, they're going to score it, mate. And then when it blocked, I was like, oh, come on. I was loving it. But yeah. And then obviously he's rated Cornick, which we'll get onto now. Obviously, like we said earlier, it didn't affect the game how he has. He was trying to make things happen. There was one where, I can't remember who it was. Someone played it out to him. He ran out to it literally in front of me, which is obviously the left-hand side. And then he turned back. I felt he could have maybe tried to, go for it instead of turning back. Because as soon as they turned back, that gave Sunderland time to come back and get into their positions and do their defensive work. But I don't think it was awful. When he come on. I just think, for example, it wasn't as effective as Watford. When he come on in, obviously, the game was done, but just the fact, he was trying to do things, taking on shots and that. Whereas he weren't really trying to do that. I feel he's just trying to hold up the ball a lot more. So as for Cornick, I don't think it was awful though. I'm gonna go. I'll go for 6.5.
Yeah, exactly the same. I felt like, but I think he was playing on the left, and he's normally on the right, whatever. But yeah, that ain't there. He wasn't that effective, especially as we know he can be.
Exactly.
And we were even calling him for potentially starting this game. So like if he'd have performed like that for the whole game, he would have been pretty annoyed. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't really come on. Sometimes not all the substitutes are going to affect the game, and which is what basically happened. Apart from that Ruddock affected it. He helped us get that point. Really, let's be honest. But yeah, 6.5. But we know he can play better, and if he's in his normal position as well, or starting up top, expect totally different things. So 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the sub that happened literally a minute later, which is obviously Sonny Bradley. Again, obviously, there's a little bit of, I don't know the word, but it just went a little bit silent when he come on. Some people obviously chanting his name, trying to motivate him, that sort of thing. I think at times he was pretty poor, but then he did redeem himself. Like there was one time he lost the ball, he was like, oh my God, what's happened here? And then he done a really good sliding tackle or something to win it back. Obviously, I felt he could have maybe done better when they had that shot, which was obviously then cleared off the line. But I don't think it was awful. It's not been. I do think. So I'll be honest, me personally, I do think some people are quite harsh on him. To be honest, maybe he's not that player, going forward, but he's a good, another player to have in my opinion. He has showed games where he is good. Which I always mention, which I'm not going to go through again because I can't be asked. But in this game, I don't think it's too bad, but it weren't too great. Similar to Cornick in that sense, where I know they can do better. So Bradley, I'm gonna go with another 6.5.
Yeah, same. He's obviously not as for in other games you probably would have seen him block that shot. Do you know what I mean? I know it was a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good finish, but I just feel like if he was proper confident, fully informed Bradley, you'd have been in the right position. He probably would have blocked that. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult. Well, I'm going 6.5 as well.
Yeah. Steve says Bradley don't look right. 6.2. Yeah, obviously he did come out and say, You know, yeah, we had some family stuff going on, and obviously weren't feeling great. Obviously in that derby game as well.
Yeah.
You know, players are still slowly recovering from that as well. We have to remember that. Not obviously the game, just the illness that was going around. So yeah, it's one of them. But I'll be honest. I think some people way too harsh on him. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not that player going forward, but he's still a good option. He's still a good player to have. We've done this with players in the past. Even recently, Bree last season, a lot of people were very critical. Then look how it turned around. Everyone's going to have a poor game. It's just how it is. A lot of people like it with Elijah at the start, of this season. Now look at him. Do you know what I mean? So we do have a habit of doing it, and it does annoy me sometimes. I'll be honest, but enough said about that. And then obviously the last sub was Cameron Jerome.
I think we missed Freeman out, didn't we?
Yeah, we did miss Freeman out. Why have we missed Freeman out? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, because obviously that was in the first half. That's why. Yeah, we'll go over to Freeman now. Yeah, sorry about that one. Freeman, obviously, we know he's a very good player. Obviously, him and Morris were getting the goals for us really at the start of the season. Just the games I see of him recently, I do see him trying to do too much. He does take that extra touch at times, and he was doing that in this game as well. He was doing it against Watford quite a lot as well. Yeah, it is annoying. It is annoying when I see that from him. I'm not going to lie. Might be harsh because it was in the first half that he come on as well, but it was very annoying. And I'm for that. I'm going to give him a 6.
I'll give him a. Yeah, same. Thinking about it more, because he's good on the ball and that, but he just the amount of times he's just shouting it, pass it, mate, pass it. It disjoints the rest of the midfield. I think it does because they're expecting like Greece, and then he's turning around, and then do you know what I mean? And they're like, where are you going to pass it to, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? What's going on? And we lose the ball. They're thinking and they're out of position, and that it kind of messes up the structure, I think, a little bit. So he needs to either play like he was in that, put him in that central role, I
was going to say, for me, I agree.
And that's it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's working out like that. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
It did frustrate me, definitely.
Yeah, same.
We know he's a good player, but like play, you're acting a little bit like you're the main man. And I don't do that.
No, exactly. So, and I agree with you. I feel, going forward, obviously I know it's been difficult because, obviously we've had injuries in midfield, illnesses and that sort of thing. I do think going forward when we can, if we are going to play him, or definitely start him anyway, I feel we should start him in that, higher up midfielder. I just feel he's a lot better there. You've seen it in games that he has played this season where he's got goals. He's just been more effective. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you do see him try to do a bit too much. And he's more of an attacking midfielder, as we know. But I don't know what the hell's going on outside there. But yeah, that's Freeman and his rating. And then the last one, like I was going to go on to, obviously Cameron Jerome, come on with 5 minutes left. I think there was one moment where, we got a corner, and I think it was Cornick who played it to him. And he done well to, shield it and let go out for a corner. But again, come on with 5 minutes. It's difficult to rate him. So he did try and affect the game, though. He did try and affect the game and go on and get that winning goal. But I will go over 6.
Yeah. I'd say he only had 5 minutes. I mean, come on, how many touches did he have there? 6.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, Stevens just went, Jerome 6. There you go. Stephen also says, Freeman, nothing special. The spark has gone out, 6.5. For me, I just feel he should be playing. Like I say, I know it has been difficult because obviously the midfield, illnesses, injuries, etc. I just feel going forward, if we are going to start him, play him in that higher up role, personally. So yeah, that is all the player ratings. Obviously, we did give lower team man of the match, and well deserved. You know, obviously got the team of the week as well, so big up to him for that. But yeah, like I said, take the point and move. That's my thoughts on it. Dad, anything else you want to say about this one? There you go. Go just like that. Just like that. Moving on to the game tomorrow. Back at home again tomorrow. We'll not be going to this one. We'll be doing a watch along because it is on Sky Sports Arena, which is a bit weird. Usually that's the boxing channel when obviously they're not pay per view. But yeah, obviously the take on Reading. Both games last season. I went to both them games last season. Well, we went to the last one actually. In fact, didn't we? Obviously, that was that massive game. Obviously, you know, other teams, you know, didn't quite win there, which benefited us even more and helped us get into the playoff positions. But yeah, that was a crazy game. Obviously, the mistake they done right before our time, Cornick, very smart of him, capitalised on their goalkeeper making that mistake, and that was brilliant, as you lot would know. And then obviously the away game, which was before that, went to that as well. That was a midweek as well. I think that was a Tuesday as well. Remember going to that 2-0. You know, we were just dictating the whole game. I remember a goal from Campbell and an own goal that they got first. Campbell, I think it's quite early on in the second half. And yeah, that was a good away day, of course. But yeah, you know, obviously Reading, they started off this season really well. You know, they were up there. You know, they're on the same points as us as it stands. But obviously we are a few places ahead due to better goal difference. Obviously they're on -5. We're on a 2 +2 goal difference. So yeah, you know, it's one of them where, you know, they've got former players that we used to have. Obviously Tom Ince, who is actually not doing too bad for him. I do see him scoring every now and then. Obviously, we know at Luton his time was not so great. You know, they have got good attackers. Obviously, Shane Long, when they signed him, I was very impressed with that signing. Obviously, from Southampton. You know, they've got Andy Carroll, who's obviously just a shithouse. You know, if you watch the QPR game, you'd have seen that QPR versus Reading on that Friday night. But I'm fairly confident going into this. You know, we tend to do well against them, you know, especially from what I've seen in recent years. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling going into it. Dad, how are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, like I said before, previously, this Reading, they used to be like a bit of a bogey team for us. But I do feel like now we're a much better squad and, you know, we're capable of beating them, especially at home. They're on a bit of a poor run. We're unbeaten. Our home record needs to be improved still, but I think we're unbeaten in 5. You know, I'm feeling confident enough that we'll get a result. I think we need to get a result, really. You know, if we're thinking about the playoffs and that, when this is the sort of game that we need to be thinking, you know, we've got to give it to them. Do you know what I mean? We're at home. We, even if it's close, we should be looking to beat them. And I think, depending on how the midfield is set out and stuff, that we could do. We've got to be wary of them because they've got a couple of dangerous players.
Yeah.
But the game's normally quite tight against them.
Yeah, I was going to say that 1-0, of course, was very tight. You know, it's just a moment of them, you know, doing a mistake. And we just capitalised really well on it. And even though, you know, we were comfortable, I'd say, in the away game last year, obviously it wasn't a battering. So I definitely agree with what you say there with that. But, yeah, obviously head-to-head, you know, the history-wise, this is from their Reading perspective. They have 26 wins, 9 draws and 24 losses, so very close, of course. But they haven't actually beat us since 2020. They've played us 4 times since. That was a 2-1 to them in the Championship at their ground. Whereas the games, obviously, before that, after that, 1-0 in the FA Cup. I remember watching that, actually. I said 1-0 Luton. and it was right. So could I potentially do that again when we go into score predictions? That was in the third round, I believe. And then obviously the 0-0 at home in the league. I can't remember that one. I'm not sure if you remember that one, Dad. 2021. I can't actually remember that one for some reason. Usually my memory is quite good in that sense with football, but I can't remember that one. And obviously a 2-0, like I said, last year, went to that. And then obviously the 1-0, which we both went to. And, we know how good that game was, like I said. So, yeah, there's that. And that links back to what Dad said about, we did have a little bit of a poor time against them. But now it's, tables are sort of turned a little bit in that way, but still tight games when we play them. I also think with it being under the lights, it's going to be, what the atmosphere is going to be like. Both teams, it's not a derby, but both teams are near each other as well.
Mm.
So, it's going to be a lively atmosphere. I can imagine that from both fans. So, yeah, that's that on that. But, like Stephen says here, under the lights is going to be a great atmosphere. Exactly. The games I've been to under the lights have been class. Obviously, Coventry, Huddersfield haven't got the results we quite wanted, but they've still been good in that sense when it comes to the atmosphere. But what we'll get onto now is obviously the lineup that we go with. So obviously we'll do what we usually do. I say what I reckon or what I'll go. That's if you agree. So obviously Ethan in goal, straightforward. Where is he? Oh, there he is. So yeah, Ethan in goal. I'm going to go with the 5-2-1-2 on here, which is what we play. I do see some people may say change formation. I think at home stick with this. Maybe away, maybe not put a cam and maybe put a CDM. But then again, with Lansbury out, I don't know if I would do that. Say going into a game like Blackpool, obviously we've got next, which we'll get into obviously nearer the time. The centre backs, I'll start off with them. Obviously, Burke's still not back, of course. I'm probably gonna go with. I'll probably go what it was on Saturday, which was Bree. Bree on the right side. Potts on the left. Obviously, Potts has kept his place there, as we keep saying. And then I'll go Lockyer in the middle. Again, another player. It's difficult to not put him in the team with how he's been. Right wing back. I'm gonna go Doherty again. I feel I'd be very surprised if he was not starting, especially with how he was on Saturday. And then left wing back. Obviously, gonna go Bell, of course. So yeah, there's that. There he is. And then the midfield, I'm gonna go Ruddock. I'm gonna think this is where Ruddock's gonna get a start, especially with how he was when he come on. Ruddock, Campbell, and Clark. Obviously, no Lansbury as well. So obviously you can't go with him there. And then I'm going to go up front. Even though, it is a quick turnaround, I'm still going to go with what it has been. I feel with Cornick, if he come on and done something like got an assist or something, well, not even just got an assist, but had some really good chances, I think maybe he would have started this. I just think with how Elijah was, with the sense with, he was unlucky. I'm going to say he remains here trying to, what he's working hard, like people said earlier. And then obviously you've got to go Morris for me, especially with, obviously him getting a goal again. But yeah, that's the lineup I would go with. Dad, any changes you would make?
No, I'm thinking it's going to say, and Nathan Jones said he needs to use the whole squad because we've got Blackpool coming up. So, we do have 5 subs in the games now. I do probably will start like that, but players will make way. I can see Fred coming on in this game. I think I'd start Cornick. just to give that little bit extra for them to think about, because obviously in the back of their minds they'll be thinking about that old other game. And I think he does do quite well against Reading as well, and give Adebayo, put him on the bench, because we're going to need him against Blackpool definitely. I can see obviously Morris coming off like later on as well for Jerome. Midfield, like everyone else, the back three, we haven't really got much choice. That's probably the best back three we've got at the moment, so we're going to have to go with that. Doughty was comfortable, but I could also see him being changed for Fred, and possibly playing in that midfield somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised about that, because I think he's quite versatile.
Yeah, he is.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually playing in Clark's position. But I'll keep it like that for now, because it probably will be like that. But it all depends who's going to be on the bench. I feel like we're going to have to start Ruddock and see how it goes, because Osho's not available, and we know he can play it. Lansbury's obviously not available. Berry, I mean, depends how it is potential, because he hasn't been injured, has he? So technically, he's probably more match fit than Ruddock is. So it could be Berry starting there as well. But I do feel like Ruddock would potentially start, but it'll be taken off like maybe at half time or something like that. But I would start Cornick. I'd put Adebayo on the bench, and then we'll see what happens. Possibly, there's going to be a couple of the younger players probably on the bench as well, because we are a bit short about it. We haven't got like who's Bradley to come on. Midfield, it's looking a bit weak, you know what I mean? Yeah, that I'd definitely change. I'd start Cornick for this game, definitely. But
Fair enough.
Yeah, probably about right. But don't be surprised if Doughty starts and Clark's rested, and Fred starts in Doughty's position.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Like I say, I would understand it. Obviously, we have got a lot of games coming thick and fast. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, there's the lineups that we go with. It's that time. Score predictions. Now, a few people put theirs in, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, my score prediction, obviously, I haven't released championship predictions. That will either be today or tomorrow, because obviously I am going to do a watch long to Plymouth versus Exeter. Obviously, I've got the Champions League predictions as well. I think it's going to be a tight one, like it has been in previous games. But I do think this is our time to win, especially being under the lights, at home. I'm not going to it, so I'm not the curse. Obviously, every game I've gone to has been a draw. So far this season, I've witnessed 2-2s, I've witnessed 3-3s, I've witnessed a couple 1-1s. Don't want to know what I'm going to witness next, maybe even 4-0. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to go tight, like I said. I'm going to go 1-0 Luton. That's what I reckon. Score prediction?
Yeah, again, I think it's going to be tight. I do feel like we might do a defend, but I think they've got some dangerous players. I'm hoping for a clean sheet, but I've got a sneaky feeling that they will score. But I do think we this is what we're going to edge. Like we should have edged Sunderland really, and I think it will be 2-1 Luton.
Nice. Fair enough. Goal scorers, I'm going to go. See, Cornick scored when we won 1-0 last year. I'm going to go. Elijah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Based on what I've gone with him starting, I'm going to go with him.
I'm going to go with Morris Brace.
Nice.
So I'm going to go with.
Nice. Both gone for another win again. Hopefully, we can do it this time round. But yeah, I believe it will be a tight one. Like both said, I believe this is where we'll get a win and hopefully start kicking on and getting some more, and hopefully start going on a bit of an unbeaten run again, similar like it was up until obviously that game against them lot. So yeah, we have to wait and see what goes on with that. But yeah, that is the Hat Show episode 67. Obviously spoke about the Sunderland game and then obviously previewed the Reading game tomorrow. Dad, anything else you would like to say before we wrap up?
No, we just keep the faith. Usual talk. Keep the faith. I expect us to be winning this game, and just if you are going, just give them
Enjoy it.
Support, do you know what I mean? Because they need it sometimes more than you think. Like, don't be edgy about it. I don't know.
Trust me. But yeah, I'll go through other people's predictions. Nearly forgot to do that. Hanno's gone 2-2 draw, which that would be a crazy game. And I wouldn't be surprised if we draw if it was a 2-2.
Just keep drawing, though. This is the problem, though.
Exactly. It's got to stop at some point. Exactly.
I just think they just need to push a little bit, and that's what they need to be doing.
Yeah. Big up Jackie says hi, tight and Dad. She's gone with a draw as well, a 1-1.
Yeah. It has got draw written all over it, but I just think that we'll get, even if it's.
I think this is where
when we're going to get a penalty, I just think that something will a mistake again from them will gives us the win, and that's what we need going into a tough away game against Blackpool.
Which we're both going to, Dad. Come on. Oh, it's going to be sick. And yeah, just quickly before we wrap up, next Hatter Show will be in person. We'll be doing it in person. We'll literally be doing it when Dad is now. With that little setup, obviously he's changed it around a little bit. It's got that beautiful flag in the background. So yeah, there's that. Beds versus Berks. Yep. See, Berkshire, is it, or something like that, where them lot are. Funny thing is, talk about Reading. I was actually in Reading today for work, which was quite weird because then obviously we're playing them tomorrow. It'd been even weirder if it was away. But yeah, this is what Stephen said for the lineup. Same as a Saturday, just Pelly in for injured Lansbury for him. Yeah, fair enough. So I think that's the same as what I've done, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, fair enough with that. Jackie says I would start Harry.
Yeah,
she would go as well with that. Spencer's gone same as you. He's gone with 2-1 as well, and he says, "Come on, you Hatters." Love that. I hope we get the 3 points. Yeah, of course. Especially, like I said, Reading's not a derby, but just bragging rights in that sense. Nearby local team, you want to be the best in that sense as well. So, yeah, man. Hopefully we do that. Both on same points as well. So, hopefully we can overtake them. Not that I really see. It's not like I'm that fast, but just get ahead of them, and depending on how other results go, could be back in them playoff places. But we have to see how the other sides do. But yeah, that is that. That is everything said. Like I said, I will be doing a watch along to Plymouth Exeter. I knew there was a League One game today, but I didn't realise it's that game. That game's actually an underrated derby. So yeah. Big up everyone that's voted. 13 votes. I've done a poll. 92 said yes. 8% said no. So, yeah, I will be doing one. It's obviously majority vote, of course. So, yeah, that is all scheduled on the channel now. So, yeah, please do smash a like, subscribe, all of that. And, yeah, sort of do all that stuff. And, yeah, don't forget to smash a like on this stream if you haven't already. It's ended up on 14 likes so far. So, big up yourselves for that. Any new subscribers, let me check that either. If it wants to load. No, none today. Big up everyone that's checked the vlog as well. That is much appreciated, like always, as well. And yeah, that is all that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, And if you are watching on playback, let me know your thoughts on the Sunderland game and how you're feeling going into the Reading game. And big up everyone that watches back on playback and on live, of course. And that is that. That's everything I want to say. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, link to them are in the description. Subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Link to that is obviously in the description as well. And Spencer says, take care, everyone, and yourself, mate. But next Hatter Show will be on Friday. And there will be match reactions tomorrow. I've got a few people that said they're up for doing one. There'll be that. And obviously, like I said, we'll be doing a watch along as well. So I will be on the Plymouth watch along. So if you can tune into that, please do. But until next time, take care and peace.